If you've torn your quad muscle, then this video is perfect for you. In this video, we're going to go through how you might diagnose that and the exercises that you need to do from the very start. Hi, my name is Tommy Brennan. I'm the owner of the Pain and Performance Clinic based in Lucan in Dublin. Okay, so I'm presuming you play some sport, you're in some sort of athletic event where you might have felt a sharp pain in your quad muscle here. It can be anywhere really, even though your quad goes from here down onto your knee. Generally it's going to be along this area here. Probably should have been a sharp pain that stopped you, certainly prevented you from running at a higher pace. This can be an annoying one and a little bit of a frustrating one for people. You have to do a lot of work to get back to your sport. If you play a field sport, the last two things that you're going to be able to do will be to maximally sprint and kick the ball. So if you kick with the leg that you've actually hurt, you have to give it an extra little bit of attention. The reason I say that is a lot of people get to the point where they have no symptoms at all. They've done some gym work and they're able to run hard at 80 or 90%. They go back to play and within 2 or 3 training sessions or games, they tear their quad again and it becomes very frustrating. Generally that happens because you don't have enough done in your initial rehab. Running at 80 or 90% is not enough. You have to do enough on this to get back to 100% sprinting and being able to kick. In future videos, we're going to deal with that more specifically. Now what we're going to do is deal with the exercises that you need from pretty much day 2 or 3 to get you to the next phase. So when it happens, you're probably not going to be able to do a whole lot for the first 2 or 3 days. At that stage, you might be able to walk around without too much pain. And the first 2 exercises we're going to do are going to be just working your hips and glutes. And we're going to do one exercise for this muscle here where the muscle isn't lengthening, it's staying in the one position. We'll cover those 2 first, and then we'll move on to the 3 other exercises that I would still consider early stage exercises. But you won't be able to do them until you're able to do this one here that works the quad. Let's get straight into the exercises. Okay, so the isometric quad exercise, say this is the leg that's affected. It'll be quite sore and it wouldn't at this stage be able to be brought with a resistance band up like this. Presume that that's a little bit too sore for it. So what you'll do is lie on your back, bring up this leg to here, put your hand here, and what you're going to do is try and bring your knee up into your hand at about 50% strength, and with your hand you're going to resist that. So here like that, I'm pushing my knee up into my hand for about 10 seconds and then take a break, and I can feel this area working. A very slight ache, a little bit of pain is perfectly fine at this stage. What we're going to try and do is push up like that for 10 seconds, take a break for 10 seconds, and you might do 8 to 10 reps in a set there. The second exercise is going to work glutes and hips. So what you're going to do is going to lie on your back like this, go into a single leg bridge, you push up like that, trying to work this area here, but as you're working this here, this is on a little bit of a lengthening, in a lengthened position, holding it for 5 to 10 seconds and taking a break. Again, pushing down through your foot, lift your hip up, let's hold it here. Shouldn't feel much pain here at all. You should really be feeling this area working. And again, we're going to do maybe 10-second hold, 10 reps, and that would be a set. So they'd be the first 2 exercises that you would do if you annoyed or tore your quad like this. You wouldn't go stretching it and trying to annoy it. They'd be the first 2 exercises for the first few days, and then we move on to the others. So the other exercises in phase 1 for quad tear are these 3. The first one we're going to look at is a quad iso hold with a little bit of a quad pump afterwards. So the key is put all your weight on the affected leg. The back leg here is purely for balance. You're trying to relax everywhere so that you feel tension build here. As I'm doing this now, I can feel the tension build. My hands fall around close to my knee and I can feel the tension build. Hold it there for as long as you can cope with, longer than you think. Might be 20 or 30 seconds. When you feel, I really want this to be over, then try and go up and down. Again, not putting weight through your back leg, pushing through this front leg to get a lot of work through here. You'll also feel a little bit of work here. That should be pushed to fatigue. So you might hold for 20 seconds and do 10 reps. And you should feel a lot of work and a lot of activity here. That would be 1 rep. Rest for a minute or so and try and do 3 reps in a set. The second exercise is a wall sit. You can do your standard one against the wall, but if you have a ball, it can be more effective and tougher. So what you might do is just squat up and down for maybe 5 repetitions and then hold it here in this position. and try and get some work here. That might be too easy, so if you want to bring it more onto the affected leg, just bring the other leg out. So this here is doing most of the work. So this is doing about 70% of the work, this is doing about 30%, and as I stay here again, I can feel a lot of work in this quad muscle. These should be very tough, but they're safe because you're not bringing the quad into a lengthened position. But don't underdo it. Like, do these easier exercises, but do them to where it feels very, very tough. Go up and down, hold it again. You know, you might do 90 seconds of work here, really feel this working. And again, 3 repetitions of that would be a set. The third exercise that you're going to do, and the last one in this early stage, is a knee extension. So say if you don't have a machine and you want to do this at home or in the gym, wrap the band around a chair or a bench, sit nice and relaxed, push your leg out and let it back in. So again, you know you're doing it right if you feel a lot of work and activity in the affected leg. What I would suggest is you do this and stop when you feel you could still do 3 or 4 more good repetitions. Depending on the strength of the band, it might be 8 reps, it might be 15 reps, but you should feel a lot of work here. So there's our other exercises in the phase 1 of quad tear rehab. What I would probably do is go day on, day off. So when you're working it, work it significantly well on that day. Your next day you're recovering, and then you go back at it again. So the muscles worked really hard, then it gets a recovery day. After about, depending on the severity of the tear, but as soon as you can jog, start jogging. Low level, 3 or 4 minutes, walk for a minute or 2. Try and do a little bit of that. Wait until you're certainly out of pain walking for 3 or 4 days before you do it. But by 7 to 10 days, you certainly should be back doing some jogging. Again, that depends on the specificity or the severity of the tear. If you have any questions on this, feel free to comment below or send us a message, and watch out for our next video, which moves on to the more advanced stage of rehab for your quad tear.